Wow, you on point today.
Yo, that's what I do, Christian. Ooh,
That wasn't that.
you cheated. You had a bottle. Yo, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Breeze Shooters podcast show. And we thank you. We thank you for joining us.
Got
My
you
name,
overworked.
my name is Lou, and I'm joined by my good friend Chris, the Buddha. And we are the Breeze Shooters podcast show. Really excited because today, I know I say this all the time, but you know what? When me and Chris started off on this journey, we didn't envision that we were going to speak to some of the people that we have. But today is especially special because this legacy goes back to my parents' days when they were young, and Chris's parents' days. The guy that we're interviewing today is no other than the great Tito Puente Jr., the son of the megastar. He was Chris. How can you describe Tito Puente? How big his impact was on
Tito
on? Uh-huh.
Tito Puente was so big. Tito Puente, I have to say, um, along with La Fania, all with the Fania people, but as an individual, Tito Puente has to be a pioneer of salsa, to bring salsa and Latin jazz to
That's what
New
it
York
is.
City.
Latin jazz.
Tito Tito Puente. I could go in on Tito Puente. I'm a fan. I'm a cocolo. Salsa is my favorite genre of music. That's right. I said genre. It's not spelled the way it's pronounced, but for those people who
Hey, just to put it into perspective, Tito Puente Sr. won 5 Grammy Awards, got a presidential award, and Smithsonian. I think he received the Smithsonian Award. This guy was bigger than life, and we're talking 1940s, Chris, maybe 1940s, 1950s.
I'll go 1950s. I believe I'm not. I don't know if 1940s, but 1950s for sure. 60. Well, so 50, 60s. You know, he was big. And what people don't understand, he is responsible. Believe it or not, he is responsible for Celia Cruz.
Oh, he is. He is. And Celia Cruz is a monster. She's tremendous, but I think over his life, he recorded over 100 albums. He's I mean, he's groundbreaking in terms of everything musically. He was like the first of. He was the first to create that wave. Well, not to create that wave, but to bring that Latin jazz, which was like Cuban infusion, to bring it over here and made it so popular. And he was big, huge.
I'll be honest with you, Lou. And I know you're trying to be um, as professional as possible, but and you're trying to not drive a hard line. But I think that he was a pioneer. I thought
No,
I
he
think
is.
he was responsible for, you know, like I said, him and La Fania, because I can't infusing that New York that Spanish Caribbean Afro Latino music into New York, into the States. I honestly believe, a lot of people don't understand that La Lupe. I don't know if you know who La Lupe is.
Heard
La
of him.
Lupe, yeah, La Lupe was a tremendous, tremendous singer. She was out there. Like she would in her performances, she would start and her shoes would start flying away. She was that type. And Tito Puente was the one that discovered her when La Lupe started almost almost the same story as Willie Colon and Hector Lavoe, when Willie Colon knew that he couldn't really um, control Hector Lavoe's lifestyle and it was affecting his work. He decided to, Hector, you do
Part
you, I
ways.
do me, part ways. That's what happened with Tito Puente and La Lupe. La Lupe, if you hear her music, I promise you know who she is. And then La Lupe, and then so he parted ways with La Lupe, and that's when he got Celia Cruz. And the rest is history. Celia Cruz career,
Phenomenal.
phenomenal career, and La Lupe's career started on the decline. She even one of her songs, she goes, she starts singing, and then when the chorus comes, the chorus is Tito Puente me botó.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me botó, me botó. Tito Puente me botó. And she was like that. And by the way, that song, amazing fucking mambo type of amazing. So Tito Puente definitely and so I got so happy when I saw him in the Cosby Show one time. Because
Yeah.
the Bill Cosby was big on, especially in his show, he was big on the jazz thing because his father on the show was a jazz player, and
Mm-hmm.
Tito had that face, that charisma, So I got so happy. Uh, we talk. I make fun of you, and we go back and forth, me and you, regarding how much Puerto Rican are we? And I know we're, I do it just to fuck with you, and I know we're but we're New Yorkers, so that right there, like when I see a New Yorker, I feel proud. Like my favorite boxer of all times. People start saying Tyson, Muhammad Ali, my favorite is Macho Camacho, just because. First of all, I like all the shit that he talked, but the New York, like it connects.
Mm-hmm.
I could connect with him. So Tito Puente, um, I connected. I felt connected when it came to what he was doing, and I felt very proud because at the end of the day, Santana, Santana, the guitarist.
Yeah, he paired up with him, and I think Oye Como Va, they paired up for, and that's his biggest hit. Oye Como Va.
But yeah, but people think that's Santana's
No,
thing.
that was Tito. Yeah,
Tito wrote that, and
yeah,
Tito in an
that's his
interview, Tito
biggest
said,
hit.
"Yeah, Tito said they could keep saying his, they could keep believing it's his. I'm getting the money,
Yeah.
So it was and another thing I didn't know Santana. I was a fucking old man already, when a grown ass man, when I found out that I thought Santana all my life. I thought Santana was Puerto Rican.
Oh no, he's Mexican.
He's Mexican. He's
Really,
Mexican.
you always thought? Oh, I guess because he ran so closely with them.
With
Yeah.
the Fania, yeah, So I really thought he was Puerto Rican. So, but yeah, Tito Puente. When you told me about the interview, with his son. I got happy because
It's special, man. I'm almost, I'm sad because I wish my mother was around just to hear this because
yes,
this is
he
them.
must have.
When they came to the States, Tito was the guy. He was like the ambassador for Spanish Harlem, for all Puerto Ricans, for all
Exactly.
Latinos. Like, he was that what do you call it, that ray of hope. But like, man, if Tito got on, maybe we could get on. But they say if his father, the greatest mambo musician, Tito Puentes, was a rey that a timbal, a timbal,
El timbal, rey del timbal.
a rey de timbal, then surely we have the prince in our midst. Rather than shy away from his father's profound impact on Latin music, the son embraces the legacy and works to keep it alive. The heartfelt mission is fueled by his passion. He was just too vibrant, too exciting, Tito says. There was magic in the music my father made, and it made people happy all over the world. That I definitely agree with.
Yeah, he has damn, I should know this, man. I leave a lot up to you, and I apologize. But Tito Puente had a
We're gonna have an
band.
episode on that one day. We're definitely gonna have an episode on that one
Tito
day.
Puente had Tito Puente's band. The name of his band is like the Spanish Harlem Orchestra or something. I don't want to say something incorrect, but he had. I like the name of his band, and one of the things and I know that his son continue. I think he continued the legacy of the band thing. I think it's something along the lines of the Spanish Harlem Orchestra or something like that.
I think you're right. I think I did see that name, and he's doing a great job maintaining his dad's legacy, because I think he has an older brother who started his own band. But we'll find out more about that. And speaking of Tito Puente Jr., we'll welcome him into the room.
It'll be a good one.
They're all good, but this was special. Tito, what's up, brother? How you doing?
How are you?
Good.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Right. Got you guys a little low, but all right. But I hear you somewhat.
All right, cool, man. Hey, man, listen.
You might appreciate the low thing, because I get kind of loud. And when I get excited, I get loud.
So, Tito, let me introduce ourselves to you. My name is Lou, and my co-host over here is Chris, and we make up the Breeze Shooters podcast. It is a true honor and delight to have you on today, brother. And we're so happy that you're so gracious with your time. And with that being said, Tito, there's so much ground to cover. I guess let's start with you, man. I mean, your start with music, was it something that you took head on, or did you really have to contemplate it, because your dad was a bigger than life character, and I know for some they'll shy away from it because the expectation is just too large. How was that decision for you? Walk us through that.
Well, first, thank you for inviting me to the program. I appreciate it to be a part of this podcast. And I got to tell you, it was, I guess nature kind of just dictates itself. Your parents tell you don't touch something. What do? You go ahead and touch it. So my father had a lot of drums in the garage. And I always loved being an 80s kid. I always loved the rock drumming. I've always been a heavy metal fan and rock drumming fan. Phil Collins, Neil Peart, Anton Fig, the rock drummers of the 1980s and the 70s, the John Bonhams, the Led Zeppelins. I was always into that type of music. And then, of course, my father, being who he was, Tito Puente, he was the king and master of Latin music, of percussion, of timbales, and he had tons of drums, the trap kit and timbales in the garage. And as a young boy, he said, "Don't play the drum, don't touch my drums." And there you go. I went in the garage and started banging on them. So that's how it all kind of came to fruition. I think I was probably very young, maybe like 8 or 9 years old when I started whacking on the drums like that. But not only did he have drums in the house, he was also a marimba player. He played the vibraphone. So he had a lot of xylophones. There's all percussion instruments, a lot of them, cowbells, guidos and castaneras, a lot of different percussion instruments in the garage. And that's where I kind of honed in on starting to jam with percussion music.
But at what point did it hit you? It's like, you know what? I like this. I want to pursue this, as a career. Did that happen right away for you, or did it take a little bit of time?
No, again, I was an 80s kid, so I was always into growing up, with the Michael Jacksons, the Lionel Richie, the Temptations, the pop music, the hip hop, the freestyle, the house music. I was all into that. I wasn't into salsa at all. I would fall asleep at the Tito Puente concerts. Me and my sister Audrey.
Oh my God.
I think I was probably like 9, 10, maybe 11 years old. We were bored. We didn't we wanted to hear Madonna and all that stuff. So I think I liked playing trap kit. And that's why I started honing in when I started high school. I played in the band in the high school, picked up bass. They say bass players are frustrated drummers. Drummers are frustrated bass players. And I played bass first and then went over to the trap kit on the drums. And then I started playing with a rock band. And throughout my high school era, and then my mother, and God, she's still with us, Margie, she said, you should spend more time with your father, because Tito Puente did about maybe 300 shows a year. So Dad wasn't home that much. And during the summertime or maybe spring break, and when I was 14, 15, and 16, she said, "Why don't you go travel with your father?" And that's how I started feeling that clave rhythm, the ritmo, the conga, the timbal, the bongo, the Latino flavor and rhythms from Afro-Cuban music. And that's why I started traveling. I still fell asleep backstage. But
Hey, let me ask you, did you ever have the opportunity to jam out with your dad, like have a jam session or any type of performance?
Yes, I performed quite a few times later on because I've always felt intimidated by him simply because he was a master player at percussion. So he said, "Here, kid, go pick up." I played the maraca in the corner.
Okay.
A very important instrument. Very important instrument.
More cowbell or clave. I was in the corner. But when I did get the opportunity to work with him in a capacity that was live, in front of people and an audience, it was very intimidating. But I got over that because once you get the approval of a parent, I think it just brings something to fruition within inside me because I was very stage nervous and frightened to become in the Latin music world. Rock music and pop music, I was jumping around and rapping and all that. I was kind of just a ham in school, but when it came to playing with Tito Puente, an icon legend like that, very intimidating. But with respect to him, he gave me the thumbs up and he said, "Yeah, you sounded good," and I appreciated it. Hearing that, especially from my dad. It wasn't just Tito Puente, he was also my father. So getting that acceptance felt good. And that's when I started feeling more secure in playing timbales.
Got you. How was it? How was it growing up young Tito Puente Jr. in school? Did you get a lot of respect from your classmates or, how was that experience like?
Well, it was odd. The Boricua and the Hispanics knew who I was and knew who my father was. The American kids didn't know who Tito Puente was at that time. However, he was already a celebrity, at that time in the Latin music world and Latin jazz music world. But my friends were rock guys. They were into Bon Jovi and Metallica, and so they didn't really know the impact that Tito Puente made in the whole percussion, musician community. But it was quite the experience growing up, being his son, having Celia Cruz come over the house, Johnny Pacheco.
Oh my God!
Walking through the door, I pick up the phone, Carlos Santana. "Hey, is your father there?" I wasn't starstruck because I see these people all the time.
It was normal for you.
Yeah, they came through the door and called the house. "Oye, nene, ¿dónde está tu padre, papá?" Entonces Celia dices, "Call me nene, Titico, ¿dónde está tu padre?" I said, "Está en el baño." So it was pretty normal and cool. And I now that in retrospect and in hindsight, I was speaking to some of the greatest musicians of our time, and I didn't realize it. Eddie Palmieri, all the greats, even Mark Anthony before he was the Mark Anthony today would call, and I was a fan of him because he was doing house music at that time, with the DJs and Little Louis Vega and all that. And then India, and I get all the pioneers that really opened up the doors for house music and Latin music were calling the house and come over. But we were very private. Not too many people came over. They called a lot, and it was a cool experience being his son.
Oh man, you just dropped some names that just blowing my mind away. With that group of cast that you just mentioned there, they were in their own respect. Some of them were funny people. They would just seem like real characters. Any funny stories stand out from that time or your interaction with these folks that you could share with us?
Wow, I got a cool story of well, sometimes Dad would travel with Celia Cruz and they would go around the world. So the funniest moments that I really recall is traveling with my father and with the orchestra. It was a 18-piece orchestra. It was Dandy and Jose Madera, all the great mambo legends that played with my father at the time. But Celia would travel with Pedro Knight, her husband, and Dad would be there, and Dad would give up his seat sometimes, in first class, and say, "Let Pedro sit up there with his wife," and all that. And the funny stories mostly came from when you see Celia and Dad, interacting together. They would be funny because Celia was down to earth and Dad was a street guy. Tito Puente was from El Barrio, so he was a street guy, and he, people would come up to him and say, hey man, is that your wife? They thought Celia Cruz was Tito Puente's wife. He's like, "Hell no, man. You know, really not. You know, and Pedro will be there. He'd be like, "What are you trying to make fun of my wife?" He said, "I would marry her with your face." You know? But he said, "But I tell you one thing, she has the greatest voice in the world today." So that's one thing he gave her. You know, he gave her that respect. But he would be a comedian in that aspect. A couple of other stories would be there was a band boy named Ralphie Barbosa. He played, well, he actually worked for my father from the Bronx and from Puerto Rico. And he used to have fake teeth. He was an old, what do you call those prize fighting boxers? Back then they had prize fighting. So he had fake teeth. And one day, my father gave him the first class ticket to go up, you know, and sit with him up in the first class section of the plane when we were going to, I don't know, Indonesia or somewhere, Jakarta, out there in the Orient. It's a long flight. So he fell asleep and he put his teeth in in a cup of like Eperdint. And then the lady came and she cleaned up all the stuff because the plane was about to land. He was sleeping. So his teeth went in the garbage. Se cayó, gone. So that night, Dad goes on stage. He goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, I have Mr. Ralphie Barbosa over here, who flew first class." No, I'm sorry. He said his teeth went first class and he went back and coach.
Oh my God.
He went first class. And he would crack on everybody. You know, Dad was funny. He would crack on Patato Valdez, who's a very famous conga player, Mongo Santa Maria, Ray Barretto, all those guys.
Yes. And
some of those guys didn't have passports. And he would go on stage and he would say, "Ladies and gentlemen, internationally, worldwide known, Patato Valdez, no passports."
No passport.
Just funny stuff like that, you know.
I could just imagine that whole crew going around together, the good times they must have had. More importantly, though, I see that a lot of the work you're doing is to keep that legacy going and keeping your dad's, your dad's music alive and afloat. And what are some of the projects that you're working on that you can let our listeners know about, so they could go and do some more, I guess, research or listen to the music? What are some of those projects?
Well, I just recently put out a brand new CD. It's called The King and I. It's let me get some copy because I don't have a copy. Porque yo tengo la promoción aquí. Mira,
nice.
Wow, mira eso.
Well, aquí estamos, my ladies and gentlemen, called The King and I. It's a tribute to my father, Tito Puente, on his 20th anniversary, which was 2 years ago. But I had to record it remotely because we were all on lockdown.
Yeah.
So I recorded everybody in their own studios, and I got the orchestra to record each part. It's really cool how I put it together, man.
Wow.
And we got Domingo Quiñones, Jose Alberto Canario, Frankie Negrón, Sheila E., Peter Escobedo, Yolanda Duque, my brother Ronnie Puente. Wow, who else? The late great Meñique, Tony Vega, and mucho salsero. So all of the people that worked on the album worked with my father, and it was a 20th anniversary tribute to him. 20 years after his passing, he passed away May 31st, 2000. So the record's out now. I got a tune called 20 Años. It's on YouTube. And my wife, she's so clever. Let me tell you, man, Boricua, pa que tú lo sepas. She came up with this, you put out the record, and how can we get people to be, engaged? Because nowadays everybody kind of downloads music, and how do we get people back to the record stores or have physical copy, compact disc album? He said, "Man, do something smart." So she came up with an idea. She said, "Put salsa para escuchar y salsa para comer."
Oh, wow. Look at that. Yo, see, you're smart.
That's the hustle. That's the hustle.
Yeah, man, that's the hustle. So I got 4 brand new hot sauces.
Nice.
These are hot picantes, and they come with the compact disc too. So it's like CD and the food.
Nice.
This one is guava. This one has sweet green pepper. This one is Tito Tamarindo, and then I have one called Mambo Diablo. 4 salsa, un CD. It makes sense. Salsa para escuchar, salsa para comer.
Wow.
And, so the fans love it, man. So you guys want some of this stuff, just look out for it. It's on Tito Puente Jr., myshopify.com. And the record's out now, and hopefully people will pick it up.
Oh man, listen, you have a keeper, man. She's definitely a marketing queen.
Yeah, marketing queen. Yeah, yeah, she's smart like that. And I put it on all my food. It's really good on anything: rice, beef, chicken, pork, steak, fish. anything. It's really good. Cinco de Mayo's coming up. Everybody loves, on their tacos.
No, absolutely.
It's good, man. It's cool. It comes with the music. So if you don't like hot sauce, you gotta like the music. If you don't like the music, then give the hot sauce to your uncle you hate.
Yeah. So, Tito, I guess take us through that whole process. I can't imagine. Did at any point was it difficult to try to collaborate all that virtually? Was the sound quality affected at all, or do you have to kind of clean it up? Because I'm assuming everybody's recording on different machines, so the sound is going to differ from the different type of quality equipment they have. What were some of the setbacks or struggles you had with that whole project?
The magic of technology is incredible, Luke, because everything's digitized now. So everybody first of all, I want to thank everybody that recorded on the album. All those artists I just mentioned, Sheila E., Peter Escobedo, Tony Vega, Domingo Quiñones, they're all superstars in their own right, Grammy Award winners.
Yep.
And they all wanted to be a part of this record out of the kindness of their heart. So they said, hey, we would love to be a part of it. So what I did is I reached out to them. I said, I'm going to do this project on a tribute on the 20th anniversary for my father. I would love for you guys to be a part of it. They said, absolutely. How can we do it during this pandemic? And I said, well, I'll get the studios and you guys can go there, just you alone, and then remember, studio is very cool because you're in another room.
Correct.
So the vocal booth and all the percussion and the trombones and the trumpets were all in separate rooms. So everybody was separated automatically. And to not fly out to LA or to New York or to Puerto Rico to get them recorded, I just got studios in those cities for them to go to. And I had everything all set up, drums, mics, everything. So they just walked in, pulled down their mask, sang the song. They did it really quickly because they're superstars and they know how to rock out. And they did it in a couple of takes. I filmed it. It's going to be for a documentary that's going to be coming out at the end of this year, and a tribute to Tito Puente. It's going to be a whole docu-series on the life and legacy of my father. So not only did I get the record out, we're going to have a documentary along with it as well.
It comes out this year?
This May 31st, a couple of weeks, will be the teaser trailer for the actual docu-series, and it should be out by the end of this year. I got some magic footage. You're going to see footage that fans have never seen before. Home video of Dad at Christmas, eating cottage cheese and cherries. Really cool stuff. People that see Tito Puente, they know him as the magic icon on stage. But you're going to see Tito Puente, the humanitarian, the man, the physical man at home with us. Just hanging out. Shooting the breeze. Him going to the store, buying something from somebody. Meeting fans. It's going to be an in-depth 8-part docu-series on the life and legacy of El Rey del Timbal. And that's why the whole thing came together and everybody here was a part of it. We got the testimonies from them. You'll see that on the docu-series too. A lot of great stuff, man. And I'm so glad that after all that time, throughout the 2 years we were on lockdown, we're coming out of it and people are now reacting to the album and reacting to the sauces and reacting to the docu-series. And now everybody's really excited about it.
Hey, Tito, let me tell you, man, what you're doing is amazing. I know your dad's looking down and he has to be so proud of
super
proud.
How
you're preserving that legacy, man. Listen, man, keep on pushing forward. I'm really excited for you and what's installed. And I'm so glad that you get to share your dad's music with the millennials coming up that probably didn't get a chance to know about your dad, just to, see how great he was and how important he was for, Latinos in general, especially people when they were migrating to New York. And I was just telling Chris earlier, I'm almost sad that my mother's not around to hear this interview because your dad was so special. Like when people came to New York, not knowing the language, but you see someone like Tito doing what he's doing, and he's a regular guy, he's from the barrio, but he's excelling and he was a crossover act. Everybody loved him. So kudos to you, man. Great job on what you're doing. And
thank you.
The great work, man.
And to piggyback on what Lou just said, we had a conversation a couple of months ago because what Lou just said regarding the millennials, like I grew up on this music. I grew up on La Fania. I grew up on Tito Puente. I was just telling Lou a story about the Tito Puente, how Tito Puente discovered La Lupe, and then from La Lupe, because of certain situations that she brought on herself, she went to Celia Cruz, and this is, so I'm telling you, I grew up on this music. What I'm seeing now is I don't want it to die. I don't want this music to just fade away, because not for nothing, putting Mark Anthony to the side, taking Mark Anthony out. We really, like, right now, my favorite salsa singer is Gilberto Santa Rosa. You mentioned Tony Vega. I'm a fan of his too. Yeah. But you don't see this, and so now you're pumping, you're giving like those paddles with the shot, with this docuseries, with you keeping your father's legacy alive, man. God bless you. And me personally, I thank you, because I don't want this to fade away. This is the golden era. This music was real music. I just don't want it to fade away. And my head stand up and everything, man. Because this,
and Tito, he shaves his arms too. So imagine.
when he told me, Chris, you're gonna love. I just got Tito Puente. I said, no, Lou, you're full of shit, Lou. You're not. You're lying. Tito Puente Jr. And I said, I'm there, man. To me, because it's just an amazing feeling, amazing era for me of music, and I don't want it to fade away. So it's crazy. I just want to thank you.
I hear your passion, Chris, and I love that. And you're the fan, and you're the one that I strive to make sure that you guys can teach your children, teach your kids, teach all the young kids today about Celia Cruz, Fania All-Stars, Johnny Pacheco, Tito Puente, Tito Rodriguez, where they come from, where the music comes from. You wouldn't have J-Lo or Mark Anthony or India or all these people if the pioneers did not start this whole thing back in the 1930s with Arsenio Rodriguez and Machito and Rodriguez and Puente. They really opened up the doors for everybody. And I love that you guys are passionate about it just as much as I am. I always tell everybody too, to make sure that you teach your kids. We need to talk about it more in universities, conservatories of music, to teach our kids more about timbales. Afro-Cuban music is so important because, again, it's our culture. And our culture is very, very thriving. They say, man, salsa's dead. No, man, because I travel around the world. It might not be on the radio, might not be in the club down the street. You don't hear it. But everywhere I travel, the people come in the masses, and they love Puente music. They love salsa. People love to dance salsa. It brings people together. And think about this, Chris and Lou. The kid who today is 22 years old, a girl or boy, never got to see Tito Puente live because my father passed 22 years ago. So you missed one of the iconic legends of our time. You're never going to see that ever again. It's kind of like, Tchaikovsky, Duke Ellington, Michael Jackson. You only see these people once in a lifetime. So Puente was one of those. So kids now reference YouTube, and they go to, different social media sites where they can see Tito Puente. What I do is I bring that music alive and the spirit of Puente when I do my concerts. So that way parents like yourself and our generation can bring their kids to watch Tito Puente's music and hear it, really. That's what I want people to remember. When they come to my concert, yeah, you see him, I kind of look like Pop without the white hair. but when I want you to go home remembering the music and saying, wow, the son came and he brought the music that his father left on this planet for people to dance to.
Hey, listen, you're not lying. You do look like your pops, man.
He does. Wow.
Wow, you guys are twins. Identical.
Yeah, remember, he had that fro, bro. he had to lay down that nap. Little bit.
Hey, Tito, man, if you don't mind, can you show me that gold plaque behind you? I never seen a gold plaque before, man.
I got quite a few. This one, of course, this is the Tito. This is platinum, actually.
Wow.
This is the Tito Puente Celia Cruz plaque, where they had, I think it was 100,000 in sales in Venezuela. I got them in different countries, so they have an X amount of things. So this one was beautiful. I really cherish this one a lot. And a lot of people, this one over here is very, very popular. See, I think that will go record. This is for $1 million in sales. Now,
Wow.
yeah, I think he took it to the grave with him because I don't have it. But this is from Tico. So if it's on Tico Records and Fania, then the Fania people have that money. And of course, this one's my favorite. This one is an album that you guys probably heard. This is a Número 100. This was a very popular record by my father, Gold from RMM Records. It's called Número 100. From Tito Puente, the 100th LP came out in 1990, and this one sold went gold and sold 50,000 copies, and it's probably right now it's probably platinum since that was 30 years ago. So I'm probably gonna get the platinum plaque soon. But cool stuff
God
on Puente,
bless,
a lot
man.
of memorabilia.
What?
You know,
Nice.
and it's
That
cool.
is awesome, man.
Yeah, man,
That
I
is
gotta
so-
get one myself.
Yo, Tito, you know what's
That's a lot of these freaking hot dogs.
yo, Tito. Listen, get it how you can get it, brother. Don't.
That's it. Don't forget to get them, man. Tito Puente Jr. my Shopify.
Hey, Tito, real quick, I always like, I guess a lot of times when I used to hear about Motown or different, like, acts back in the day, you always heard the sad stories of, the deals or the contracts that they signed and how, they got robbed. Was your dad pretty much in that same category? Did he sign any bad deals, or did the guys did right by him?
It's crazy that you asked me that, but my mother controls the estate of Tito Puente, and thank God that we had good attorneys, and my father was always very smart about things. One song in particular, Oye Como Va, Tito Puente wrote the tune. We ascertained royalty. The song kind of put me through college, thank God.
Okay.
And we my father had over 186 albums. That's got to be a world record. Wow. So it's a lot of red tape to all of that with publishing and writing and all that stuff. But we got a grip and a nice hold of that. That's and good. I'm glad that I could do that for my children so they can, have a future in, relinquishing this music and re-putting it out and repackaging it. And it should belong to the Puente family. And hopefully, as I continue my journey into promoting Tito Puente music, my children will take after this and keep his name in perpetuity alive when it comes to branding and maybe the salsa or clothing line or anything has to do with Tito Puente. But we have a good grip on that. My father did get ripped off a lot. But one thing about Tito Puente that is different than all the other artists that you could possibly find, him and Celia, I'll put Celia on there too, is that they were always in demand, which means they toured 300 shows a year. So the problem with that is that they couldn't pay attention to how many records they're selling because they're too busy touring the earth. So that's how they really generated their income from touring. Mm-hmm. And when they did it all the way to the day he passed away, May 31st, 2000, he had concerts lined up for 3-4 years after he died. And I had to do those concerts, to fulfill those contracts. And I'm glad I did them. It was very intimidating, but I went with the orchestra. And of course, Celia was part of that too before she passed away untimely 3 years after my father. But I can honestly tell you now today that we're comfortable where we're at. Let's put it that way. And we want to make sure that anything in the future that has to do with Puente. I like that shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
That's how I feel.
That's the way to be, man. That's the way to be.
Yeah, we're comfortable like that. And it's good to know that we have, people behind the scenes that make sure that the Puente name will always be presented the right way. And, any royalties or anything like that are collected on our behalf. And, it's really cool. We got a bunch of awards, Lifetime Achievement Awards after his passing. So that goes to show you that his name is still synonymous in the world of music and in the percussion world, especially. When you bring it up to any drummer, you say Tito Puente, they're like, my God, he's such an inspiration. And I think that is something that is priceless. That's priceless right there. His name will go down in history forever as far as murals, and there's a street named after him in New York. There's one in Florida. We got so many great things and experiences with branding Tito Puente's name after his untimely passing 22 years ago.
Hey, let me tell you, out of everything you said, that brings the most joy to me, because it's just sad hearing those stories that, guys, these legends, they put all this hard work in, and their families can't reap the benefits. So I'm glad to hear that, that you guys did a good job preserving that, and that you guys are okay.
Right.
So let's talk about your career. I know with COVID, it kind of slowed everything down for everybody. Have you started touring again?
Yes, I have. I have started touring again. I was actually, I got to be honest with you, Lou and Chris, I'm blessed. I'm very, very blessed. I was talking to an agent named Andy Fosso earlier today, and he said, Tito, during the whole pandemic, you were still kind of working. I was doing, I took the year, like everybody else, we took that real hit that we couldn't work and we couldn't perform, and we had to go, rely on the virtual lives. But I got through it. And at the turn of last spring, a year ago, like today, was my first concert. So I did start working a year ago.
Oh, wow.
And I'm grateful to say that I have been consistently, I think a lot of it has to do with people just wanting to come together. The music of Tito Puente brings people together. And I think also a lot of people have just been hunkered down a little too long, and they want to see a live music, live show. And I see a lot of concerts happening. I see the market, hopefully it won't get flooded, but I see a lot of the acts, the old school generational acts coming back, and I like seeing that. And it's nice to see they're having Dia Nacional de la Salsa. They had another one in Puerto Rico yesterday. It's nice. It's nice to see that live music is coming back. So I am starting to work. I got some wood here, knock on wood. And the hot sauces in the record got me through, and now I go to the shows, and then I kind of just, the people are asking me, hey, you got any hot sauce? So I kind of sell them there. The merchandise does well, the merchandise does well. And, we do a lot of different things, here with the brand Tito Puente. T-shirts, hats, I got this cool sneakers now. Check these out, man.
Oh, dope, wow. Right? Those are nice.
Oh, my God, man.
Yeah, man.
Those are really nice.
Yeah, we got some Tito Puente sneakers, hats, all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
We got pillows.
Look at that.
Wow.
So it's a lot of merchandise and a lot of stuff. So I thought during the whole lockdown, branding, that's really where it's at. So branding, and it got us through. And now I'm back out on the road, and if you guys want to come see me in concert, just follow my social media pages. I put up flyers and posters, and Lou, I'm always up on that. Instagram. So just follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and I'll tell you where I'm going to be next. I'm doing a lot of touring actually this summer. I didn't even realize it. And the agent told me today, and I said, man, I didn't realize how busy I was. So
well, that's good, God, man.
Which is one of the things I wanted to say. It goes without saying, Tito, whatever you need to promote, to push, feel free. Absolutely. Me and Lou do this, and when it's about the culture, it's our culture. Like, I'm very, very proud. My pride goes beyond with me being Puerto Rican. Yo soy un cocolo hasta la muerte. You understand? I'm not that type. So it goes without saying. Anything you need to promote, feel free. That we'll push it as much as we can, man. And like I said, I'm glad that you're keeping it alive, bro. Because that's to me that's important. That's
Tito,
very important.
Thank you, Chris.
Tito, what Chris is telling you is that he models clothes. So if you want him to model shirts, he's your guy.
I got you.
Women and men, because we gotta cater to everybody.
Well, I gotta get you guys. Gotta give me your eyes. I was saying you got some hot sauce, man.
No, absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
I'll do a video eating. I love tacos.
I love video eating this stuff, man, for sure.
I promise we'll do it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Hey, you know what I wanted to ask you? Outside of Puerto Rico, where are you received the biggest? Like, where you have your biggest tickets sales? What country or what place receives you the best outside of Puerto Rico?
You would think New York, simply because Tito Puente, we're born and raised in New York, Spanish Harlem. I could honestly tell you that the best reaction I get every year since my father's passing has been at the Puerto Rican Day Parade, which is coming up on June 12th. I will be there.
Nice.
And that reaction, hands down, is some of the greatest love that any artist could feel, especially being puertorriqueño, boricua, de Nueva York. It feels amazing to be a part of that whole culture of the city. So that really would be the place where I get the greatest response from my heart. But when I perform in places where I wouldn't think there would be mambo or salsa dancers, Iowa, Oklahoma, Montana, I get called to some really, diverse, cities. But I gotta tell you, los boricua y los hispanos, Latino people are moving kind of away from the city and into these suburban areas in these other states. And then I would go there, but hey, I'm from Brooklyn, I'm from New York, I'm from here. And I'm like, what are you doing out here? Are you like witness protection or are you hiding from the IRS? What are you doing? Pero los Latinos, they go everywhere. Alaska, Hawaii, they're in the military. So I get reaction really from everywhere. And especially when I see my fellow New Yorkers, if I happen to be in another country, Germany or Italy or Spain, I'll see somebody from Brooklyn. Always, everywhere I go, where are you from? I'm from New York. I'm from Brooklyn, but I live out here now. I'm like, wow, it's amazing. So those are the reactions I love the most.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. Hey, Tito, I want you to take this time now to promote anything that you have going on that folks could, reach out to you, where they could buy your the hot sauce
merchandise
and where they can buy the album. Please take this time to promote whatever you have going on, brother.
Gracias, Lou. Gracias, Chris. A todo mi gente latino en el mundo entero. Soy Tito Puente Jr. I want you guys to check out my latest CD. It's called The King and I. It's out now on Doral Music. You can buy it along with 4 brand new hot sauces and a bonus CD from La Muñeca de la Salsa, Melina Morevar, doing a tribute to La Lupe. I'll sign an autograph for you too. I got a lot of pictures, and I keep it real personal. You can go to Tito Puente Jr. myshopify.com, or you can check out all my social media pages. Tito Puente Jr. at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's @ Tito Puente Jr. And you guys can find me there. All my stalkers, come on and check me out. IRS, come check me out. I know you're watching. And I encourage you guys to follow me and tell your friends about the great concerts. I got some good ones coming up. This weekend, I'll be in Tampa, Florida at the Leadfoot Festival in Brooksville on May 7th. Next week, I'll be in Boston on May the 12th doing a downtown concert series. So that's free. So come on out to that. And then on the 14th, we'll be in Sanford, right outside of Orlando, doing a big Puerto Rican festival. And I'll be looping my way up to New Jersey in May 27th in Newark at the Symphony Hall. South Philadelphia, June 11th. And I'll be at the Puerto Rican Day Parade, Canyon of Heroes in New York City, Sunday, June 12th. Desfile de Puerto Rico, back after a 2-year hiatus.
Nice. Yo, Tito, that is awesome. I'm going to catch you when you come to New Jersey. I'm going to tell my wife. I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to take
Let me know, man. I got you some tickets. You guys come out. And, of course, you're going to go home.
That sounds will be perfect with my pateles. Thank you, Tito. It's a true honor, brother. Thank you so much. And like what Chris said, anything you want to promote, please, all you got to do, you got my email, send it over, and I'll make sure to put it out there so the folks know, man.
Thank you, Lou. Appreciate you, man. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
God bless you. Continue success, man. And once again, I can't stop thanking you for keeping it alive, bro. It's to me a lot.
I appreciate that, and I feel your passion right through the phone, brother. Yeah. All right, and I got you guys some outros. I'll catch up with you guys in a couple of weeks when I come up that way.
Sounds good, sir. Man. Thank you, Tito. Take care.
Thank you.
Gracias, hermanos.
Cuídate.
Ciao.